Here we go. Welcome everyone to World of Wildlife. This year is just jumping by, isn't it? We're already in August, which seems just unreal. So today we're talking a little bit about World of Wildlife underwater. So you'll see that my background and this background matches what we're talking about a little bit today. So the way the World Wildlife works is I'll give you an update on what I've been doing. For those of you I don't know, I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. Then I'll pass over to my co-host, Dr. Wong, who is the founder and director of the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre in Borneo, which is in the Malaysian part of Borneo. After that, we'll pass over to our guest speaker, who will be Pablo, and he's talking all about marine tourism and marine biology on the Great Barrier Reef and in other parts of Queensland, specifically about reef check. All right, let's get started then, shall we? Oh, jumped too hard. For those of you who don't know me, I write books. I write books about wildlife. Most of those are about my co-host, Dr. Wong Suti, or Wildlife Wong. So they're all about his adventures with different animals in the middle of the jungle in Borneo. And those are suitable books for ages 8 to 12. The most recent book is called Curious Kai Asks Why. And this one's about more of the animals in my home of Australia. So Curious Kai is a child with endless questions about wildlife who goes in search of the real scientists who can answer her questions. She travels all through Queensland, learning about spectacled flying foxes, about cassowaries, which I know that some of you have probably close to where you live in Cairns. She learns about manta rays and bilbies, all sorts of things. Okay, so I'm in the process now of writing the next Curious Kai book. Those of you who are homeschooled are going to love the title, I think, because it's called Curious Kai Quits School. Pretty good, cool. So we'll see what happens with that one, and I'll keep you posted as we go along. So I have been busy this month. Sorry, I'm jumping around a bit. I've been busy this month because I actually have been running a conference which is not wildlife based. So I haven't done a lot with wildlife, but I want to tell you what's coming up in the next month, because this is probably the busiest month for a children's author in Australia. The first one is next week is Science Week. Okay, and Science Week is big throughout schools, homeschools, everything in Australia. I've put some QR codes on this slide for those of you that might want to have a look at some of the resources that are provided, especially for those of you as homeschoolers who might want to actually engage with this idea of Science Week. So next week, on Sunday, I'll be heading off to Ipswich in Queensland and spending an entire week going to schools. Got about 12 schools during the week of Science Week and doing workshops in those schools around both the Wildlife Wong series and the Curious Kai. So that's a really exciting week for me. But what happens then in August is it's followed directly by Book Week. So if I've still got a voice by the end of Science Week, I'll be in schools all day, every single day during Book Week as well, both in Brisbane and in the Sunshine Coast, meeting children, doing workshops, and hopefully connecting kids to nature. So one of the things that we've done this year is kind of cool. So these are 2 potential Book Week costumes from my books. Wong, does it look like you? What do you reckon? You're on mute.
Probably not.
A
He's
little
way too
bit.
young.
It
Well,
looks a little bit
a
like
little bit.
a baby Wong. So this is
Okay.
this is a potential costume for the children in Australia who want to go to a Book Week parade dressed as Wildlife Wong. This is what we're suggesting as a possible outfit. The second outfit that we're suggesting there is if anyone wants to go to Book Week parade as Curious Kai. All right, so some ideas. Now, if any of you know of schools that would like these, let me know. I can send them some information. I can send them my blog, which has some details on how they can create these costumes. But also, if any people choose to buy any of my books during Book Week and Science Week, and they send me a picture of them dressed up in one of these costumes, then I'll give them 50% off the book. So all you have to do is send me a picture first. Sound pretty good? Okay. It probably works for adults too if you want to dress up, just in case. The other thing I've got going on this month is in September 6th is my second plant and sip workshop. This is at Fairhill Nursery, and it takes place at noon at Fairhill Nursery on the Sunshine Coast, where people learn about how a rainforest works and how that system is basically emulated by a terrarium. We build a terrarium, we learn about the plants that are in that terrarium, and have a bit of fun with our friends along the way. So there are still spots available on that one. If anyone's interested, then all you have to do is scan this code. It'll take you right to the Rego page. All right. That's probably me, I think. So I would like to pass over to my co-host here, Dr. Wong Siew, founder of the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Centre and the hero of the majority of my books.
All right.
Over to you, Wong. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, so okay, the last month since we last spoke, what's going on? I got a bad news. One of our bears passed away. We have not made the announcement yet. She passed away last week. Out of the sudden, is the bears is called Siew. Yeah, and then
That's sad to hear.
yeah. So
Do you
this
know
year
what caused it, Wong?
well, she got hemorrhagic on his neck and his back. It seems like a fall from a tree or something like that. So that could cause, the obstructions of the blood flows, and then yeah. So he was in a 10K. Yeah, it's relatively big cage, big forest enclosure. So yeah, so that was unfortunate, and then it also makes me like, in the past I said, when we see sun bear can climb tree all the way to the treetop, and actually there's a risk from that kind of tree climbing. Just like orangutans, they were on top of the canopy all the times, and there has been studies found out that the orangutan actually do fall from tree and then develop, old injuries, bone fractures, but heal and that sort of thing in the forest. And then for the sun bears also have this kind of problem because last year where Itam, the bears that we released, was found dead. We suspect that she fall from a tree as well. Her hip
What can be
bones
done about that, Wong? Because obviously you can't stop them climbing in the rainforest pen. But
yeah, no,
what
no.
can you do
Mm.
to stop or reduce the risk?
To be honest, I
Mm,
seriously do not know. You see, our bears have lived in our forest enclosure for what? For 14 years now,
mm.
and 14 years we have one documented fall from Mary, where I was filming her and then she slip and fall down. And then this one is literally the second case. You see, out of what, 14 years,
It's
uh,
not a huge risk then.
yeah, not is yeah. And then we see all our bears, climbing tree every day. Romolina climbing tree every days. Um, Definitely there is a risk, but I think the risk is very, 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 very small. And right now, this is the second case that we know of where a bears might hurt, bring fatal, yeah,
Mm.
from a tree fall. And if you look at how tall is our tree, any animals that fall from like 20 meters, 30 meters above the ground directly hit on the ground, yeah, it's
Yeah,
going to
they're
be,
also not good, are they?
yeah, it's also not good. And then you see the probability is there, but it's going to be very, very small. Just looking at our statistics, 14 years, we got so many bears, they have climbed trees, and then and yeah, and then this kind of thing
The
still
total
happen.
number of bears you've had now is in the high 60s or 70s now. What are we looking at?
74, out of
74.
the last 18 years when
Mm.
we started this project. So we have take care of 74 bears, and then
Yeah,
including Luna, who was born here, which is 75 bears.
yeah.
Yeah, 75 bears, two fatal from tree fall, and then
Mhm.
one, Mary, she was like limping for a few days. Yeah, but that tree is relatively short, maybe like 6 meters or so above the ground.
It's
Yeah,
a really difficult balance, isn't it? Because having the trees
mm,
and the wild
yeah,
habitat is really good for their mental health and grow and learning their skills. but
Yeah.
obviously it comes with risk. It's sort of like having a child in that respect.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So that's why, because they live in this kind of habitat, and then we are so proud of, oh, we have the real forest and have the bears to climb the trees to harvest the fruit directly from tree and all of that. And yet this kind of thing happened. And then, but we cannot say is that because of this one or two, very rare incident, we stop the bears from climbing trees, isn't it? So that would be
Yeah.
unfair as well, because in the wild we knows that bears do climb trees and they are very arboreal. They spend a lot of times on tree and this sort of thing. So yeah,
It must be hard
yeah,
for the team, I imagine.
yeah, it's an accident where we don't want to see. Yeah, a day before, 2 days before, when we see Sue, she's still okay, everything is still normal, and then the following day she did not come back well, to the bear house, and then on the third day morning, yeah, we saw his carcass, yeah.
Mm.
So
Oh,
yeah, so
sorry to
it's
hear that.
mm-hmm,
Sorry to
yeah,
hear that. Can you
yeah,
now, in addition to the Borneo and Sun Bear Conservation Centre in Cephalok, you've got Camp Tenom in the
yeah,
middle of Tarbin Wildlife Reserve, where you're
mm-hmm,
actually soft releasing
yeah,
um,
yeah,
that young bears. So how's
yeah.
that project? You've got one bear
Well,
that's not coming home at all, right?
yeah, yeah. So Tenom, the one that we sent to Tabin back in 2024,
Mm,
she is did not come back anyway. She already established a home range in the Tabin Forest Reserve, and then our team still go and check on her from time to time, and which is really good. 2 months ago, I went to see her. That morning, she was bitten by a wild bear, and then I went there like last week, 2 weeks
mm,
ago. Yeah, 1st of August, I think. Yeah, and then yeah, her wound is healed. You
good.
know, meaning that when she grow up in that environment, she need to become a wild bearish, and she will get interactions with the wild bears, and sometimes they got bullied. They need to stay
Yeah,
strong to fight against, and this is how all
that's how she
animals
learns.
yeah, they actually
Yeah,
learn how to become a wild bear again. So which is good. I mean, yeah, she's very, very independent now. She's very easy to work with compared to other bears. And then we have high hope of her. We still, you know, uh, uh, follow her, track her down and check what's going on from time to time. So if we continue to do that for the next several years, meaning that we can document the whole life history, natural history of a sun bears. If she mated with a wild male bear and then have a baby, then we can document it, all of this story. So hopefully in the next few years we can paint a complete pictures of how sun bear live in the forest. Yeah.
fabulous.
And yeah, so that is our first bear. And then the second bear is called Pitang. No, it's called
I've forgotten
Pitang.
to.
Yeah, Pitang.
You know,
Yeah, and then we sent her to last year. No, yeah, last year January. So she has been living in the forest for 1.5 years now. She's getting big, but she still come back to Camp Not Yet Independent yet. And then 1.5 months ago, we sent our third bear called Manja, who we rescue on early this year, February 9 this year. So right now, Camp Tenom still occupied with two bears, and then the other one is already live
in the forest.
independent, yeah, in the forest.
Yeah,
And then our team is still busy running around taking care of these three bears with a 5 people team. And then few weeks, I was there last week, and the elephant herd was there, so it was quite scary, when the elephants is nearby. Yeah.
yeah,
So that's the challenge. And then as of BSPCC right now is the peak season for tourists. So
yeah,
every day we have a lot of tourists come here to see our bears, which is a good thing. That's why I want to try to convince the governments, you need to protect the forests and the wildlife too, because these draw in nature-based tourists, and we can generate revenues. The local people can gain jobs, and then so that they don't have to poach. Yeah. So
yeah,
through nature-based tourism, we can enhance the work of conservation. Conservation is all caused by people. If we just address the wildlife issue and not address the root cause, which is human issue, I don't think it's going to work. Yeah, because you cannot deny that first there are so many people in this part of the world, and many people in this part of the world are the poor people, low income. Yeah, if they cannot get jobs
Absolutely.
elsewhere, they would head back to the forest and then do hunting and poaching again.
Yeah. I can see a lot of people nodding their heads while you say that, Wong.
Yeah, that's the reality.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely Pablo and Linda and David, you know, you've had that sort of experience too, haven't you?
Yeah.
Thank you. Does anyone have a question for Wong?
I've got lots of questions about the science and bears.
Go on.
That's
choose one. Choose one, Pablo.
Okay. I'm not sure if you know me, Wong, but I'm a student who studied at the University of the Sunshine Coast under Sarah, under various other teachers doing animal ecology. And one of them,
wonderful.
I remember she presented a talk once on the satellite tracks of your bears, I think.
Okay. So Beth.
Yes, Beth Brunton.
Yeah.
I wanted to know how that project's going, if you have been able to track them for long times and uncover what their behaviors are like in the forest.
So those bears that she helped us to analyze was the heart release bears, in total 12 of them, that we had released, rescued, rehabilitated sun bears, and then Beth helped us to analyze the data, the ranging pattern, and things like that. And then we published a paper 3 years ago, I think. Yeah, 3 years ago. So it used our existing data, and then actually the end result was actually not so great. I mean, if you want to ask me our success rate for our heart release program, I would say about 30 to 40%, not that great. So that's why it makes me believe that I have to try a different way, which is a soft release. Although it takes more efforts and lots of money, and but I think it's the right thing to do. At the same time, trying to stop people from hunting and poaching bears. So that is the social aspect of wildlife conservation, dealing with, in this part of the world, dealing with the big landscape where there's a lot of poor people, and then everybody try to make a living. If not, they get a proper job, then they go to collect and harvest natural resources.
One of the good takeaways from that research, wasn't it? Was to learn that the soft release is a much better option than the hard release.
Yes. Well, give me another few more years to state that, to make that statement, because we're still in the learning curve. I have to say. But so far so good. Finger crossed. But there's still a lot of challenges.
And we've still got students working with you, don't we? Because Ilka's just finished her honours thesis with work at and Ilka's going to be our guest speaker again next month. So that's very cool.
Oh, okay, that's good.
Give us a bit of an update on what's going on. Yeah. So still that MOU that was organised between you and the university is still producing.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it still needs a lot of people's help, Yeah.
Good question. I've got a question actually for Linda. So Linda, is there any evidence of koalas falling out of trees?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We frequently hear about koalas that have fallen from trees, either because they just slipped, or whether there was a territorial issue between a dominant male and perhaps a male juvenile. That koalas are very territorial, especially during breeding season. But from time to time, we do see a koala that's just accidentally fallen from a tree, and we've lost them that way. But it happens.
Yeah.
Same thing, here beside orangutans, gibbon also, when they do this crazy stunt swing from tree to tree, if they grab a small branch and the small branch break, and if she fell, if there's no other tree branches below him or her, then the drop is like 50 meters. Nothing can survive that kind of drops. And it also proved that there are gravities, you know.
Yeah. It's easier when you do it with an apple, I reckon, rather than an orangutan.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, well, thank you, Wong. That's really awesome. It's good to know that things are going really well with some areas, and our hearts go out to you for the negative things that are happening. But keep going, keep going.